So welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chats with Dan here. For today on the show, what can I say? We're having an incredible, super badass Wednesday because we have the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, the incredible Sean. How are you today, man?
Doing well, Daniel. Thank you for the introduction.
Absolutely. What better way to have an incredible, super badass day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, can't say I disagree. It's a nice day. It's a great Wednesday to be able to chat with someone as cool as you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also in the description below, you're going to find all of Sean's social media. Let's follow him. Let's find out why he's super badass. And without further more, let's jump in. So I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the very first question, which is, at what moment it made you realize this is what acting is what I want to pursue now? Was there a performance, film, TV show, something that triggered it in order for you to start on this journey?
Honestly, there are two memories. The first one starts back when I was a young tyke, 4 years old, watching Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones for the first time. And that moment that in the climax of the film, when Indy is holding on for dear life onto that bridge that is now collapsed, and he's talking to Mulram, the bad guy, like he's like giving him the business in I'm not a master of languages, so I don't mean to offend Hindi or whatever Indian dialect it was. It gave me chills, and I saw that, and I was just like, that's what I want to do. Fast forward to, 22 years later, I'm in my first on camera class, and I saw myself on camera, and I was like, yep, that is exactly the fulfillment of that dream I've had for all these years. So let's go for it.
And once you started to make your first steps, right, into this journey, tell me, what were some of those kind of first hiccups or challenges that you encountered as you were making it into a pro career somehow?
Honestly, I spent my first year just training my butt off. I took maybe 5 or 6 classes that year, and I just went to town, plugging in the hours, studying as much as I could, anywhere from method to Meisner to on camera audition work to breaking down audition scripts and whatnot. But I spent my first year really focusing on that. My first professional job came in the form of a commercial for Great Dane tractor trailers, which was just a great experience. One of my former coaches, Anthony Paderewski, actually cast me for that role as a truck driver. It's the first time I had ever done anything commercial or really anything on camera to that point, other than, class, basic training on camera for that. And I thought it was going to be easy, man. I was like, oh my God, I'm already booking stuff. I'm ready to roll. Like, this is going to be super simple. And needless to say, my ego got checked right away. I was auditioning as much as I could, wasn't booking anything for probably a year after that. I had done a couple like SCAD films, Savannah College of Art and Design, which has a great film program down in Savannah, Georgia, which is where I got my start. But my first television role was on a show called Snapped, which is on, it's been a long time since that show came out. But constant ego checks. Every single time you book, you're thinking, oh, okay, this is going to start something. And it just kind of slows down, and it's just, everyone has their time, and you got to kind of just like realize that, come to terms with the fact that, hey, this business is all about rejection and how you handle it. So just basically a bunch of what I used to call false starts, which I call now just training. In reality, every job was more training, helping me become more seasoned as an actor, helping me become more seasoned on set, and how I approach characters, and therefore how I approach auditions. So yeah.
And do you still remember that very first feeling of your first audition? Was it, tell me, a little bit terrifying, exciting, or perhaps a complete disaster with a lesson?
Let's see. The first in-person audition that I did, I thought was gonna be a lot more scary than it was. I, like, tried to psych myself up like crazy, and then I got in there and it was just like a job interview. And for some reason, I've always had this uncanny ability of, like, taking control of the interview, whether when it's job interview, and every single time I did that, I got a job, so it was like, "Okay, this is the exact same thing, it's just now I'm acting across from this casting director or this director, this producer, whoever it is." And I had a blast. However, the first on camera audition, which is the vast majority of our auditions nowadays as actors, are all done via self tape. So, and that first one, that did stress me out quite a bit. All the takes that I did before I delivered it. And I don't know why that was more stressful than in person, but it was. So,
Usually, how you handle rejection? I mean, nobody likes being rejected, right? So, what is your
mhm.
usual process, or like, what is your thing here? Let's say, in order for not letting yourself kind of feeling down, whenever those things happen.
Um, I'd say that, it is a constant reminder because no one likes being rejected. It feels very personal, but you have to remind yourself that it is business and business is never personal, period. It's just business. But what I need to remind myself all the time is that, whatever my role is, it's going to be mine. It's not going to be someone else's. It's just going to be mine. And if this role isn't mine, it was never meant to be. So it's easier to kind of like detach from the audition when you do it. I mean, sometimes it's hard. There's so many characters that you connect with when you're doing auditions, when you're putting together your whole auditioning process, breaking down the script and everything. But at the end of the day, it's like you gotta put that up like, yo, if this is for me, it's gonna be mine, no matter what. And yeah, kind of detaches that whole personal thing to it by knowing that ultimately you control how well you do the audition. You do not control if you book it or not.
Hmm. And during this whole downtime between auditions, how you usually stay creative?
Writing, I've been filmmaking since 2019. I'm not sure if you've been noticing on my personal Instagram, I do reels very frequently where I do narratives. I do short films in reel form. And I keep busy with my own creative, with casting myself and working with other super talented actors and putting myself out there because Instagram in a sense is like our resume as artists, whether we are musicians, actors, directors, writers, photographers, what you do, like it's our resume. That's a way for the public to see it. So I create on my own. That's what I do in between audition lulls and job lulls. So
Mhm. And now that you mentioned that you write, what is your usual process? Or yeah, my question would be here, like, what usually inspires you for you to start writing?
honestly, personal stuff, how I'm feeling, certain demons usually. I mean, it's such a therapeutic way of me to just like get out how I'm feeling about things, but not making it personal. I never do it as myself, and I never put my exact circumstances or the exact struggle that I was going through. I always find a way to allude to it, but also fictionalize it. So I put a lot of myself into my writing, and it's a lot of just my feelings, my thoughts, my emotions, everything. It just makes it personal for me, and it's beautiful because I have a background in music and being a lyricist. That was always writing my feelings and my thoughts. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. And is there something you have written that somehow it feels, yeah, somehow too personal for you to release it yet? Or is it something you are planning to release anytime soon? Or
Oh man, the project I'm working on right now, it's called Boneyards. It's actually been I've been working on it since 2019, since I got into filmmaking. And it started off as something that I felt like, this is a badass story. I could have a couple of my friends come in, we could film it, we'll have great footage, and we'll have a fun time making it. But it always wound up being too personal. And like, because of that, it never really got past the initial edit. Like I never could release it because it was like, this is just too dang personal for me. Um, and honestly, the more I write it, the more personal it became. But then it just helped me deal with certain demons and certain traumas and memories that I have. And yeah, so I'm finally at the point where I'm going to be going down to Tybee, where it all started, and filming the short film. And next month, August 10th, and finally get it out there so people can see it. And I'm very excited, very
That's
very
pretty cool.
excited.
And what are some of the things that you're excited for people to discover or to watch on this short film you're about to start?
I'm very excited for people. It blends my love of the South, surfing, and metalcore music, which sounds weird when I'm saying that, but that's how I wrote the first script. It started off as a short film, and my idea was like, okay, I want to start this off like a metalcore song because, like, I talked to you that I come from a songwriting background, and I had never written a script in that way, and it just flowed so well from that. And I could just hear the soundtrack. I could feel the music while feeling the emotion of all the characters and seeing the visuals and all of that. And the metaphors of the ocean, which is just super spiritual spot for me. But yeah, it's a blend of all my loves while also opening up a little bit about me and about my relationship with my little brother, with other family members, with the past relationships I've had, just a way for me to like just open up. And I'm excited for people to see that. They're gonna just get a very clear glimpse of me. And as intimidating as that may seem, for me it's quite cleansing. So I'm really excited about that. It's been a project for since 2019. So I mean, to finally be doing it and getting it to the point where I am releasing it is a huge deal for me, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You're also showing that as long as you stay persistent to it, you can make it happen. I think that is besides being able to create a cool film. I think you're also showing that at the end it is possible. For you to show out there what is something that really drives you. You know what I mean? I think that is a real cool, powerful message to it. Besides, the epic content you are able to release, or things like that. Or you're also showing that, hey, that dreams are can come true, and sure,
Mhm.
things can get complicated, but as long as you stay persistent to it and you actually have like a goal to it, you can make it happen. So hey, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely, and I fully agree with that.
There you go. I'm discovering why you're badass here. You know what I mean? You're giving me these vibes here. Why
Okay.
you're badass here. I'm feeling it now. Pretty cool.
Okay. Appreciate
And
that.
and moving a little bit forward here, tell me what is like your usual process when you are preparing for a character? Is it, for example, I don't know, like peeling back layers of yourself, or perhaps putting a mask on you? Like, what is your thing? Let's say.
Are you specifically talking about as I'm preparing for being on set, or are you talking more about like auditioning process?
Oh, more on set. You got the role.
More on
You're ready to
set,
go.
I got the
Mhm.
role and ready to go. I already know that this character is me, first of all, because I booked the role. My whole job is to just dissect this script to really understand who this is and why it is me. So it is like peeling up back layers of myself or exaggerating parts of myself. For instance, my last film job, playing Arturo in Death Streamer. That was my first time ever playing a villain for one and two, playing a vampire, which was a super badass role to do. I could relate to the sense of the vampire in the sense of I always kind of felt like an outsider, like I didn't really belong in a sense. So because of that, there was almost like this mythical mysteriousness to the way that I viewed myself, which, as ridiculous as it sounds, was true. And it came out in that character. His lust for women, his lust for blood. I mean, could relate to that in the sense of used to struggle with drugs and alcohol years ago. So I could relate to that in that sense a lot. But really, I'd say my intensity and my drive was really what hungered it, and my hunger to just build a better life for me and my kids and to just go for it. Just that tenacity. That's really where I found the connection to the vampire, was that he was going to get the job done no matter what he had to do. And obviously, not going to kill or hurt or maim or do anything like that. But I am a very driven person, and like you said, you have to be persistent. You have to be persistent if you want things in life. So, but it's always peeling back layers of yourself or exaggerating them for me, and just finding them myself in the character. And it goes the same for auditions. I'll read it and I'll look and I'll be like, okay, this is why this person's me, and I'll do it. So, yeah.
And how you are able to separate, like between takes, you are able to separate yourself from the character.
Oh yeah, super easy. Director says cut. All right, hey, what's going on? It's just not in character anymore. Not using that part. The beauty of it is that it is fictional. It's always fictional. I'm just using myself as a vessel to bring truth to it,
When you're having like an emotional scene somehow, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there something you do to kind of emotionally kind of decompress after that, or not at all?
Definitely a lot of like breath control and breath work to do that, just to let it move freely through you and just recenter yourself and come back to life, so to speak. It could definitely wear on you in some certain ways, especially if you're doing something super intense, like playing a vampire and killing and hurting people, especially women that are like very vulnerable to you. To do that, I mean, it takes a lot more decompressing from it, but also it's your relationship with your castmates. You have a great relationship with them, that you trust each other and implicitly in what you're going to do, and what it's a collaboration. It's like a dance. And so you have that trust, you have that respect, that relationship with the person, with your scene partner. It helps you come back to life, because be like, hey man, great job, or whatever. Like that kind of helps you snap back to reality. But I mean, you are still feeling those things. You're definitely still going through all those emotions. It is absolutely real in that sense. You just have to remind yourself that it's real on camera, and when it's cut, it's not anymore. So you just gotta let it move through you and let it go.
Have you ever found like a part of yourself that you didn't expect while playing a role?
Probably that one. Probably that one. Being scary. That was new. That was new for me. I've always kind of been a goofball in a sense, but being scary was definitely new for me. According to my director and my co-stars, I did it very well, and that was a huge shock to me. A great shock, because it is fun. It is fun playing a scary person, but or a scary monster in that sense. But yeah, I was not aware that I had that in me.
Now, what do you think that it's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about actors in general?
That they're lazy, that they just can be, they're easily replaceable, that they're like monkeys. I mean, they're not at all. It's there's just, as we were talking earlier, there's just so much that goes into creating and acting that the average person who doesn't do that doesn't see. And I definitely see that in the industry, from other aspects of the industry, different sides of it definitely take actors for granted, and it's just not cool.
What usually keeps you grounded in an industry that can feel anything but stable, basically?
Gotta love the chaos, man. You gotta be in love with the chaos. You gotta be able to improvise. You gotta be able to adapt. And honestly, I would say that you have to, for me, grounding myself is realizing that nothing's permanent and that it could change just like that. So
Okay.
being in love with the chaos for sure.
I mean, that's somehow life at the same time, right?
Right?
Somehow, yeah.
Hmm. Very
There
true.
was there was a time in which I had like this idea in my head that, let's say, right, that I have chaos in my life. I was like, yeah, first I'm gonna solve one problem, and until I solve that problem, then I'm gonna focus on the next one. Like all of that.
Mhm.
But what ended up happening is that I focused on one thing, but due to that, I was lefting behind some other stuff. And then in order for me to recoup the other stuff was taking, it
Yeah.
was a mess basically. So at the end, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna solve things in the middle of the chaos. Why not? And just for the
Mhm.
sake of it, one step at a time, but be in the chaos and not try to get away with it because it's gonna hit you back at some point. So
Absolutely, absolutely. You always have to be present. And I think that's a big lesson in being present is that anything can shift, anything can change. Hey, you may have to pay this bill, but then something else huge comes and takes away that cash that you have to that you prepared for, or whatever. Like you can't really, you can prepare as much as you want, but ultimately life's going to happen the way that's going to happen, and you have control over how you handle it. You don't have control of if it happens.
as you look back and look ahead, how has your definition of success have shifted?
Let's see, it was very monetary before. And that's just because of desperation in life, and it's a very difficult, competitive industry. And now, honestly, being successful is just doing what I love. That was the whole reason I got into this business in the first place, is because I love being on camera. I love telling stories. I love being able to relate to other people. I love being able to tell those people's stories and just connect. It's all about connection. And now it's, if I'm doing that, I'm successful. In my mind, I'm successful right now. And I'm happy with that. Sure, I would. I mean, I wouldn't be like upset if someone was like, "Hey, Sean, I got this lead in a TV show that I want you to be a part of right now, and going to go for 2 seasons. So let's go." I mean, sounds fantastic, but I don't need that for success. I just need to be able to be grounded and be present and be doing what I love, and I'm doing that every single day. So yeah.
What do you think the 10-year-old version of yourself would think about you right now?
Probably think I'm pretty cool. I probably would think I'm pretty cool. We all have our insecurities, especially as life goes. And you have to, yeah, never really think about that. I mean, I've got kids that aren't too much younger than that. So I know that they think daddy's cool. I know I would have thought I was cool by now, for sure. And I'm happy about it. I mean, that's a huge success right there in itself.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I've covered that at the same time. It's kind of important for you to every now and then have like this communication with your inner child, just
Mhm.
for the fun of it, or to, keep in touch, because sometimes I do think that that those things that our kid version wanted at some point, perhaps at this point we already have them, but because life goes on, busyness, bills, adulthood, like all of those things happen. Sometimes you might think that like the goals keep just getting higher and higher. That's
Yeah.
normal. That's life. But then sometimes you forget that those little goals you had as a child, you might already accomplish them, and that can help you eventually for you to achieve something even bigger. If you have like, if you're like humble enough to be like, I did what I wanted, I have it right now, but it's time for me to keep moving forward in order for me
Mhm.
to reaching that end goal that my adult version has set. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely, yeah. No, I fully agree. You definitely have to stay grounded. You definitely have to stay humble, and it's definitely easy to do that when you do connect with your inner child, because you realize that some of the things you've done already, like you were dreaming of at one point in time, like, and maybe that's not what you're dreaming of right now, but you did, and you did that, and that's huge.
totally. Okay. Okay. Now, for our next section here, super simple, rapid fire question, yes, no, or pass. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. You can say yes, no, or pass. That's it. Sounds good?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, let's see what happens. So, first one, have you ever cried after an audition?
Yes,
Can you separate personal pain from a performance?
yes.
Do you enjoy watching your own work?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay. Have you ever turned down a role you now wish you took?
Nope.
Okay. Can you cry on cue?
I can cry when I need to. Being on cue, not necessarily.
Okay. Do you believe typecasting still defines careers?
No.
Okay. Have you ever walked out of an audition on purpose?
I've never walked out on an audition. I've turned down auditions though, on purpose. Yes.
Do you still get nervous before going on set?
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah.
Have you ever improvised something that made it into the final cut?
Mm-hmm.
And would you play a character that scares you?
Already did, and I'm totally open to doing it again.
There you go. Pretty cool. And before wrapping up here, tell me, what's the one moment in your career that reminded you why you started in the first place?
There's been a few. I'd say when I got my first award for acting, it was for this film called Black Hatter, which was made by Amanda Gusevich, and it was just a fantastic script. I remember reading it and just really deeply connecting with it. And when we got to set and I saw just the way that they set it with the lights, with everything, I knew that this was going to be that it was going to do well in whatever capacity it was going to do. And honestly, it was that was a moment that reminded me while I was doing it, because it didn't pay great, and it's okay. I mean, I don't need to get paid to do a job. I just have to believe in it, period. It was cold, so being outside in Chicago in an alleyway not too far away from the lake in November, I mean, it's no joke. You don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be doing that, hanging out outside for however long. But I believed in the story. And when I saw the way that everyone was working to bring it to life, it became bigger than me. And yeah, it's one of my favorite roles that I've done. It's one of my favorite times on set, just because she did such a great job telling that story, and every single person that was part of telling that story and bringing it to life did a fantastic job. And I'm just happened to get an award for my acting, which was a big win for me. But I knew it was going to be a great project when I walked on set. And in that moment, I knew I was doing the right thing.
There you go. Okay. You're more badass. I love it. That's pretty cool, man. And tell me,
that.
and my last question, so we can all enjoy and relax here. So, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
There's blood in the water. Let's keep it with my boneyards.
That's pretty cool. Okay. I'll take it. Sounds like a franchise to me. Who knows?
Who knows? Let's see.
Right? Sounds like the epilogue of something here.
Right?
Yeah. Pretty cool, man. Yeah. And at the end, what can I say? I mean, the fact that you're doing what makes you happy, that's pretty cool. I mean, we all know that doing something outside the typical 9 to 5, finding a corporate job usually tends to be a little of a pain in the butt, but you're making it happen. You're showing out there. You're also creating your own stuff here. I mean, as I was saying before, the fact that you're able to, besides presenting those cool content, you're showing at the end of the day that dreams are possible. And I think that is a very powerful message and very positive at the same time. And I think positivity is something that we need right now, especially now in this crazy day and era we're currently living in. That suddenly we want just to kill each other and things like that. The fact that we can rely on people like you and other actors who are just showing us that dreams are possible, and that it doesn't matter where you come from. If you are persistent on something, you can make it happen. That's pretty cool. So
I appreciate that, Dan. Thank you very much, man.
Absolutely. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below, but also in the description below. You're going to find all of Sean's social media. Come on, by this point, you should know why he's super badass. Let's follow him. # Team Sean. And again, man, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep rocking. Keep kicking ass for sure. And I'll definitely be seeing you in the next one.
Appreciate you, my man. Thank you, everyone.